Hi folks, it's Danny at Bradley James Classics, and today's classic car is a Ford Escort 1.4 GL Estate from November 1988. It was registered. It's displaying its genuine mileage of just 85,000 miles. Now we know this because the history with the car, MOT history, does tally up. So not bad mileage for a car of this age. Now it's rare because there's not huge numbers of the Mark IV Escort Estate in circulation. Certainly there can't be many in this condition, and actually the fact it's a 1.4 GL is very nice. The L model would prevail, but the GL model is a real nice to have. It does have a few extra features which I'm going to run through with you in a minute, but I'm going to take a slow walk around the car just so you can see how excellent the bodywork is on this car. Now this burgundy red showed up on a number of Fords, but it does look quite striking in the Escort. But again, a little bit of trivia. In the way there wasn't really a Mark V Cortina, there was a Mark IV facelift. There wasn't really a Mark IV Escort, it was a Mark III facelift. And Ford had a internal name for the Mark IV Escort, or the Mark III facelift. I think they called it Electra or something. 86 Electra, because 86 was the year it came out. There you go, that's boring fact over with. Back to the Escort. It really is clean. It's a pleasure to drive. Now they're not hugely powerful. I seem to remember the brake horsepower, they're only 65, 75. 75 brake horsepower actually, just found my notes. But because these cars come in at under a ton, they are pretty peppy, so it's lively performance. It certainly keeps up with the flow of traffic. You have a 5-speed gearbox on this car, so it's great for cruising too. And I think this would be well received at any car show, and I'd expect it to do quite well in this condition. The paintwork is exceptional. Undoubtedly, it must have been resprayed at some point in its life to be looking as good as this is now. Now I'm going to start by running over the bodywork with you. And if there's any imperfections, I can see maybe there's a tiny bit of paint missing there. I can see that the bumper is in good order. The tailgate is pretty much excellent. As is the roof. This is a sunroof model. We're starting to get into some of the nice extras of the GL now. The rear wing on the offside is excellent, as is the rear arch. Now you've got to be careful with these Escorts. They were partial to a bit of rust, as we well know. This one's rock solid and all under-sealed, so you haven't got to worry about any welding. In fact, the MOT was done last in April 2022, so it's got MOT through to April 2023. It didn't have any advisories on the last MOT, and that is pretty impressive for an Escort of this age. So I think that gives you an idea of the condition. Now these doors are perfect. I cannot see any imperfections, any dents, certainly scratches or rust. They're completely devoid. Now the trim themselves, you can probably see where some of the chrome has given up the ghost, but I think that's to be expected, and it's quite honest and does sort of help age the car. Now the bonnet's in really good condition as well. Total lack of stone chips and stuff on the front. The front bumper is lovely. Again, this insert has lost some of its chrome effect, but it's all present and correct. Front wing on the near side. No, I thought that was a chip, but it's a little bit of grass. Excellent condition. Tyres are perfect all round. They appear to be a matching set of, I can see the word GT on them, and that's about it. Oh, I think they're called Maximus. Yes, some sort of Roman gladiator, I thought. But anyway, when he's not making tyres, he's doing good films. This is exceptionally good condition. I think you're going to have to take my word for it, folks. I'm looking at a beautiful bodywork Escort. The bright work, which again is one of the features of the GL, is just that little bit posher. nice chrome exhaust trim. It has Ford wheel trims that are in perfect condition all round. And as I just give one more little sweep around the car, I assure you, you'll be very impressed with the condition, certainly of the bodywork. And this burgundy red on a sunny day like today, and when it's clean, it looks particularly nice. I'm going to show you that because there is a nice big wad of receipts and invoices. Sadly, I don't have the original owner's handbook or the service book or the instruction book. However, if you pick through the invoices and the old MOTs, this will verify the car has been well maintained and the mileage, which at 85,000 miles is very respectable for a car from 1988. Now, we're going to stay on the what makes a GL a bit posher theme, and we'll have a little look inside. Now, for starters, here would usually be a window winder, but instead we've got electric window buttons. So the two front seats, the two front windows are electrically operated. You've got a combination of velour and a harder wearing pattern here, which is what's fitted to the GLs of the era. That's pretty plush. Now, they called this like a Granada style dashboard. So the Mark IV has rotary dials, not the slidey dials which the Mark III had. It's lost its original Ford radio, which is a shame. However, it does have a Kenwood CD player. And again, one of the posh features would be have like a little joystick. If you remember, Ford used to do that. Again, a benefit of the GL, we've got a little coin holder here. We've got tape cassettes holder there. There's your cigarette lighter and your ashtray. You've got stubby little controls on the Mark IV. They're very different to what you had on the Mark V. So this is all a part of this Granada style dash. We've got rear fog light and screen. Now, it was around this era, in fact this is what this other button is here, I feel sure. If you had a defrostable front screen, the button would have been there. Now, I've got a feeling that was an extra on the GL, and I think it may have been standard on the gear. That's what that plate is here. There's your 85,000. We've got a rev counter, and as you would expect, a fuel gauge and a temperature gauge. And here we have electrically operated and controlled windows, which are nicely working. Again, a nice feature of the GL. The dashboard and all the plastics are in very nice condition. The seats are in great condition as well, as are the carpets, and it's a nice dark grey carpets. Escorts had this, they all seem to do this. They all got a little bit warm, and it caused this to happen on this trim. We have a manual sunroof, which is a factory fitted Ford one, which we'll fold up there, and we've got this overhead console. Headlining is nice and original. However, I don't know what's gone on here. This is a little bit of an imperfection. Somebody has either had something fitted here, but there is a rip, and please be aware of that. Now, let's look further afield. I'm going to do the old one-handed engine bay inspection. So you only need one hand. In here, somewhere around here is where the little button is. Oh, there we go, got it. And I think it's very respectful underneath here. Those inner wings are nice and shiny in the burgundy colour. This is a CVH engine that was referred to as the lean burn. It replaced a 1.3 engine that Escorts generally had fitted. We have things like electronic ignition and those long skinny spark plugs, for those who remember, and exceptionally nice under here, very honest looking. And wow, look, the tray underneath the battery is still present, and those who know they weren't always so good. They were often quite rusty there. So all good, present and correct. And there we are, burgundy red. So nice honest condition, in fact very clean. You could take it to the next level with detailing if this was car show bound, but I think you'd be very happy with how good the engine bay looks on this 1988 car. Now we're going to have a look at the practicalities of having the estate car, and for this we shall move to the back. We've got that continuation. The interior is quite posh. We have a centre armrest, which of course is posh, and if you look at the carpet, so that dark grey really contrasts really well. And what's nice as well, on this particular car, you can pull the little knob up and down come the seats, so you can fold down the rear seats, which is very practical, and this is why people love these estate cars. Now I'm going to need the lock, the key for the lock. To my knowledge, I'm afraid there's only the one key, and this is it. Now, I'm not doing very well with the one hand here, so forgive me folks. I think I might have to get two hands to open this boot. So let's have a quick look at the inside here. It's got a nice carpet fitted there. Plastics are quite reasonable. There's a little bit of scarring up in the corner there. Someone's fitted some larger speakers in the back panel here, so that probably corresponds nicely with that Kenwood Hi-Fi. Quite a good sized boot. So if you are doing some gardening, if you go to the allotment, if you need to take the dogs out, then an Escort estate is going to be very much for you. I'm really impressed with the condition of the car. It drives really well. It sounds great. They always sounded quite peppy, these 1.4 CVH engines. And let's show you another little feature of the car. And I'm right in saying that being a GL, we've also got electronic locking, a nice feature. Well folks, 85,000 miles on an Escort Mark IV estate 1.4 GL. Drives really well. The bodywork is genuinely immaculate. I can't see any issues at all. I've walked around and I've pointed out any imperfections I can find, and there certainly haven't been many. A good set of matching tyres, no advisories from the last MOT. Huge benefit of being a very rare GL model. You won't find many Mark IV GL estates on the road, I can assure you. Really good plastics on the car. It does look great. It may be that you're not into car shows and stuff, but just like to keep a clean car, then this one's going to be for you as well. Now the previous owner actually did have a small Ford collection, and this was one of them. So that's where this one come from, a very loving home. Great to get cars from people like this. I don't think you're going to find a much cleaner example, I can honestly tell you. Now, we never know what's going to happen with the future of classic cars, but there's something nostalgic about these European Fords. People love them in this country. They were, of course, the best-selling car in Britain when they were new, and all these years later, we still love them today. They're actually extremely nice to drive, very simple cars, a distinct lack of things like warning lights and the need to go into limp mode and plugging in at the garage for 50 quid a pop every 5 minutes when a warning light comes on. You don't get that with these cars. They are very straightforward, and if you keep them serviced and if you keep them in good condition, this could well prove to be a good investment for the future. And it's a very much practical, usable classic. You can jump in this car and drive anywhere. You don't have to worry about keeping up with the flow of traffic and what will it be like on the motorway. They have a top speed of just about 100 miles an hour, maybe a few miles over that. Decent on fuel, and actually a fairly compact car. So if you live in a house where you just have a single garage, you can expect to fit this inside, whereas modern cars are pretty big. You might struggle to get out a car once you get into a garage. Not so with a Ford Escort from the 80s. Well folks, the car is in stock now. We offer a part exchange service if you'd like to trade in your existing classic, modern or light commercial. We offer a full UK delivery service. We just need your postcode to give you a quote for this. All the cars we sell go through our own workshop. We have highly experienced mechanics who specialise in working on these old cars, so They do leave us in fine fettle, so all you need to do is jump inside and drive them. Be rest assured this car didn't have any advisories on the last MOT, so I hope that gives you an idea of its general condition mechanically as well as bodywork wise. It's rock solid underneath. It's a lovely car. Well folks, thank you very much for watching my 15-minute video on a Ford Escort MK4 1.4 GL Estate from 1989 in superb condition. Thanks folks, it's Danny at Bradley James Classics, signing out from another walk around video.